For more than 1,000 years, the world believed Rome had fallen. The Western Empire collapsed, its cities burned, its emperors dethroned. But what history classes don't tell you is that Rome never truly died. It simply shifted its throne, changed its language, and rebuilt itself behind walls stronger than steel. This forgotten empire survived plagues, invasions, betrayals, and holy wars. It outlived the Caesars by a millennium and stood as the final guardian of the ancient world. This is the story of the empire most people think vanished, but in truth, it transformed. This is the real Rome, and history calls it the Byzantine Empire. Welcome to the royal era. It begins in 476 CE. The Western Roman Empire collapses under the weight of corruption and barbarian invasions. Cities crumble, knowledge fades, and Europe enters an age of darkness. Bathar Hawaii, in the shining city of Constantinople, the Roman state still breathes. Its rulers call themselves Romans. Its people call themselves Romans. Its laws, its armies, its gods, and its ambitions remain Roman. But the world, blinded by time, gives them another name. Byzantines for everyone outside the empire. Constantinople was a myth made real, a city of golden domes, marble palaces, and markets filled with treasures from every corner of the earth. It was the world's bridge between continents, cultures, and centuries. While Europe struggled to survive, Constantinople thrived with libraries, medicine, universities, and engineering unmatched by anything in the West. But surviving as the last remnant of Rome came at a price. The empire lived surrounded by enemies: Persians to the east, Bulgars to the north, Crusaders to the west, and the rising forces of Islam sweeping from Arabia. Every day of Byzantine life was a balancing act between diplomacy and war, strategy and survival. When Emperor Justinian rose to power, he believed it was his destiny not merely to preserve Rome, but to reclaim it. With his wife Theodora, one of the most powerful women in world history, he launched the last great Roman His armies retook Italy, North Africa, and parts of Spain. For a moment, the Mediterranean Sea glittered again under a revived Roman banner. But Justinian's true legacy wasn't carved on battlefields. It was written in ink. The Code of Justinian reorganized centuries of Roman law into a system so influential that modern legal structures still obey it. From European courts to international treaties, the emperor's reforms echo in every judgment handed down today. Rome survived not only in marble, but in the laws of nations. Yet even an emperor with global ambitions faced threats no sword could defeat. In 542, a plague swept the empire, killing millions. Constantinople's streets fell silent. Corpses filled carts. Entire districts emptied overnight. Justinian himself became deathly ill. The empire staggered, but it did not fall. Its resilience became its identity. After Justinian's death, the world changed. The rise of Islam transformed the Middle East. Persia fell. Syria and Egypt were lost. Constantinople faced the full weight of the most powerful armies in the world. But the city had a secret weapon: Greek fire, a burning liquid that clung to ships and soldiers, igniting even on water. The formula was a guarded state secret, one so valuable that emperors kept it in their personal chambers. With it, Byzantium sailors burned entire fleets, saving the empire from annihilation. But Byzantium's power wasn't just military, it was intellectual. While the rest of Europe forgot the Greek philosophers, Byzantine scholars preserved them. Aristotle, Plato, Archimedes, these works survived the Middle Ages because Byzantine monks copied them tirelessly. Without this empire, the Renaissance would never have existed. Modern science, medicine, philosophy, all of it would have been lost. Beyond the libraries, Byzantine diplomacy shaped nations. They converted the Slavic world by Sendin brothers, Cyril and Method, who created the alphabet that still shapes Eastern Europe today. Christianity spread north not by force, but by persuasion, artistry, and scripture. The empire expanded not only with armies, but with ideas. Yet within these golden walls, danger often came from within. Emperors were blinded, exiled, poisoned, or overthrown by their own people. Riots shattered the city. Court officials schemed. Generals betrayed. In the Byzantine Empire, politics was not a game. It was survival. Then came Basil II, the Bulgar slayer, a warrior emperor who ruled longer than any other. His army carved its way across the Balkans. His discipline turned the Byzantine military into a machine of iron. Under his reign, the empire reached its height of power, rich, educated, feared, and respected. But empires do not last forever. After Basil's death, weak rulers, internal divisions, and ambitious nobles began to fracture the state. The greatest blow came not from enemies of another religion, but from Christians in the West. The Fourth Crusade, a mission supposedly blessed by God, turned its swords not toward Islam but toward Constantinople. In 1204, they sacked the city, burning its libraries, looting its treasures, and shattering its legacy. The West destroyed the very empire that had kept Europe alive. For decades, Constantinople became a shadow of itself. Broken, fragmented, ruled by Latin kings who cared nothing for its history. But the spirit of Byzantium refused to die. The Greeks reclaimed their city, rebuilt their walls, and tried once more to revive the empire. By the 1400s, a new power rose to challenge them. The Ottoman Turks? Their cannons were massive, capable of breaking the ancient Theodosian walls that had protected the city for 1,000 years. The Byzantine Empire, once the greatest civilization on earth, now stood alone, surrounded, outnumbered, abandoned by the West. In 1453, after 53 days of siege, Constantinople fell. The last emperor, Constantine Onsa, threw off his royal regalia and charged into battle as a common soldier. His body was never found. His death became legend. With him, the final chapter of Rome came to an end. But even in its fall, the empire ensured its immortality. Scholars fled to Italy with ancient manuscripts, sparking the greatest intellectual explosion in European history. The Renaissance, Eastern Orthodox Christianity spread across Russia and Eastern Europe. Roman law shaped governments. Byzantine art, architecture, and theology influenced half the world. Rome did not end in fire. It did not vanish in ruin. It transformed, adapted, survived, and even after its walls fell, its ideas conquered continents. The Byzantine Empire was the bridge between the ancient and modern worlds. It kept knowledge alive when darkness threatened to erase humanity's memory. It was not a shadow of Rome. It was Rome's final and greatest evolution. The unsung successor. The forgotten guardian. The empire the world refuses to remember, but cannot escape. If you believe these lost voices deserve to be heard, subscribe to the Royal Era, where we restore the past one story at a time.